Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jimron, and today we're going to try to figure out what in the world is Warhammer 4K Mechanicus. Shortly described, it's pretty much a strategy game, and I thought going into this game, as someone that has spent literally over hundreds of hours playing Fire Emblem and all the Fire Emblem games, playing XCOM, and various other strategy games. I even played a little bit of Lord of the Rings: The Third Age when it was out on PSP, and also on Xbox. So I thought I was quite qualified to play a game like this. No, 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 no. This is not your typical strategy game. There's a lot of twists here and a lot of stuff that you have to take under consideration that initially made me somewhat dislike the game. I was not a huge fan of it, and I was going to be very critical of it. But as I continued playing and uncovering new secrets about the game, I was a little bit more accepting of everything that it had to offer, especially having played a few hours that I'm in right now. There's not going to be any spoilers because we're still early on in the game, and this is going to be more of a educational breakdown of what this game has to offer. So let's start off with the settings as usual. Settings menu is a little bit on the messy side, I would say. You have the key bindings here. There is no need for a lot of these, but you can bind them. I don't really use them. I just use my mouse for everything. And there's audio settings. You have maximum volume, music, and sound effects. There's not really one for dialogue because it's not really dialogue, and I'll show you what I mean with that in a second. Not a lot of graphical settings either, and I do think that the game kind of needs more, but they wouldn't be put to use since the game does not look that pretty to begin with. The main problem I have with the game is you're probably going to see it up here is chromatic aberration. Every time there's a move that happens, an attack or something like that, or you're unable to do a move because you don't have the points to do so, there's going to be a huge chromatic aberration effect going all over the place. Everything is going to be shaky cam for like a second, and it is really frustrating. There's no way to turn that off, and I'm not a huge fan of that at all. Hopefully, I mean, the game has been out for 2 years now. It came out November 15 of 2018. The only reason why we're talking about it is because it released on consoles in May, I believe, and that's when I got the key. I've been sitting on the key for a while, and I just finally had the time to look at the game. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they turn off the chromatic aberration. It's just really distracting and induces a lot of pain. So we can't see in here, but there's a difficulty settings menu that we're going to see once I hit continue. But let's start by taking a look at the game and see what it looks like. This is your main hub ship area, and these are different Mechanicus characters that are going to be giving you different missions, and if you click on them, you're going to see this one is normal difficulty, and here's the rewards. Normal difficulty, here's the rewards. I kind of knocked out all the easy difficulty ones just to make sure that I kind of move on a little bit quicker. Normal and then hard. Some of them will be very beneficial. So this one, for example, troop deployment cost is reduced by 30% for the Blackstone that you acquire through the missions. It's a really important one because some of the bonus units that you lay down on the missions, they cost Blackstone, and that's your currency. Some of the rewards are going to be just Blackstone and weapons. Some of them are going to be more servitors here that you can deploy in your battles. So this one is just a level up for the existing one that you start with. And some of them are going to be additional cognition points on the total. This is the text tree here. This is going to show you stuff that you've unlocked. These are the melee weapons. Obviously, you don't have that many. These are going to be the items that you acquire in order to boost, to give you an advantage throughout the battles. These are going to be the troops. Ship upgrades, or I guess ship upgrades, quote unquote. These are going to be your permanent upgrades that you get as rewards on the missions. And these are going to be canticles. Canticles are pretty much cards with the added bonuses that you get. The more you go without using any, the more you unlock as a bonus, but you also perform different side acts in order to unlock more. So if you kill 3 bosses, you're going to get this tentacle level 2, and so forth. If you complete 10 missions, which I've done 6, I thought I've done a lot more than that, you're going to unlock more of them. So that's how it goes. This is just a level up. These are all the ones here, and they just level up as you go, which is awesome. And on this menu, you're going to have your tech priests that you can customize and level up and take them into battle. And there's going to be your additional troops that need additional points in order to lay them down in the battlefield. Well, to take them with you, it needs Blackstone, and then it needs cognition points to deploy them on the battlefield, which we'll explain what cognition points are in a second. Up on the top left, you have the Necron Awakening progress. This is pretty much the progress of the Necron being awoken. Basically, you're just raiding a bunch of Necron tombs, and the more you move around on the map, the more they wake up. But that is another story. A story for a later time. These are your tech priests here. I started with these two. That's why they're... No, not this one. These two. That's why they're the most decked out. This is the one that I most recently unlocked. As you can see here, when I click this, the chromatic aberration effect and the screen shake, ungodly. I don't know who in the developer team thought it was a good idea, and who greenlit it, and who passed it on the QA control. Everyone's responsible for this. It's really frustrating. I definitely criticize the game for this one. Points taken away. I don't care. I'll deal with the backlash. However, this is quite interesting the way it works. As you can see, we have augment capacity. Every time we upgrade our discipline, every time we upgrade the tech priest, we gain an additional augment capacity point. And with the augment capacity points, we pretty much arm them with support items or weapons. The weapons can be used multiple times across all of your tech priests, so do the support items, but the armor items are all going to be unlocked individually for each of your tech priests. Now, there's different paths that you can go down. As you can see, there was a little bit of a bug there. You have Explorator, they have the Warhammer pronunciation for these things, and it's pretty frustrating. So you have different paths that you can go down, and each upgrade that you do, it gives you the ability to unlock a new armor piece, which you can equip personally on that one that you've gone down. Technically, you want to go one path for each one, and they will look different, but if you do go the same path, then they are going to look identical. There's no other customization besides colors for your tech priest, so if you really care about that, then just keep that in mind. Otherwise, they're just going to look the same, but I think this is a nice way to unlock tech trees. Some of them get OP, and a lot of these have been updated throughout the years and balanced and redone and everything, so this used to be a lot more OP, the combinations that you can do, but they've gone now. So yeah, this is the upgrade tree. Definitely study it before you go down the path that you think you want to go down, because you may want to pick up some quick points in a lot of them, and then just continue on the path that you wanted to. So this one is troop unit gates 1 damage plus 4 movement. Yeah, we're gonna get this one because it looks good. And now, as you can see, I have 2 free augment capacities. What I'm probably gonna do is just enable one of these things, or maybe I'm gonna take this pistol, because in the previous mission what happened was I ran out of ignition points, and I couldn't, and I pretty much got my ass handed to me, so I had to restart the whole thing. Not fun. Not fun at all. Now this one heals for 2 to 4 and 2 to 4. We're gonna augment these both, and then we have 2 free, and then we're gonna do this one because it does 5 to 7, and it uses the same cognition cost. And we have 1, 2, 3. Can we upgrade this new guy? No, he's 1, 3, 4. So then we're gonna move on to the mission. Once you start the game, you're pretty much only going to be having these 2 missions, and then the rest of them are going to be unlocking. So you can kind of pick through what you want to be doing as your mission. I don't know if... I'm probably just going to do this one so I can get the level 2 servitor, but if I suck on the mission, don't judge too hard. This is just to figure out how the game works. So this is the deployment screen. We're going to be selecting our 3 tech priests. They have different icons and different names, but they look pretty much identical during the battle. This is going to show you what enemies we're going to be facing. Necron Warrior, this is basic. Flayed one, and then we have the Immortal, and then the Deathmark. I don't think I've faced these guys yet. And here are the rest of the troops that we can deploy. So we have the Servitor, which is the basic one. Every time they get hit, we get 1 cognition point, and then they don't cost any Blackstone to bring on the battlefield with us. And then you have these guys. This is a ranged one. This is a better melee one, and this is a much better ranged one, but this one does less damage, but it reveals enemy statistics when they deal damage. And this one just does more damage that counts as physical. There's 2 types of physical. There's 2 types of damage, energy and physical. It's important to scan your enemies in order to see what kind of damage you want to do to them. So I typically go with at least one of the cheapo guys because they only need 1 cognition point to summon in the battlefield versus 2 for these guys. But it's nice to have a ranged guy, so I'm just going to do 2 of these and then 1 of these. Keep in mind they do cost, the better ones do cost Blackstone to bring in the battlefield, but if we did that mission that gives us 30% less cost for cognition points to summon the units, then that would be a lot better. These are going to be the Canticles. I don't really use them, so we're just going to deploy. Not going to care about them so much. This is the voice acting. As you can see, there's no voice acting. There's pretty much this binary electronic type of dialogue that the tech priests pretty much do. There's some voice acting in some of the enemies. It's very rare that you're going to see some boss battles, boss people talk in English. But when that's done, it's done pretty well, I would say. And here you have your dungeon, basically. It's pretty much a little bit of a dungeon crawler here. There's no zoom in or out on this map. And when you do zoom in the battles, every time the enemy moves, the game loves to zoom you back in. So that's somewhat of an annoyance, I have to admit. Now, here's the trick. Up on the top left here, we have Tombs Awake level. The more we move around and the more we do stuff, the more the enemies wake up, and the more difficult the final battle is going to be. So, on one hand, you do want to go as fast as possible on your missions. These are your missions. These are rune rooms, and these are just basic exploratory rooms. When they don't have an exclamation mark, nothing happens when you move on that thing. I think you still get awaking points. But the more you explore, you also uncover more stuff. You get more Blackstone. But again, it will make the battles more difficult, and the more damaged your tech priests are at the end of the battle, the more Blackstone is going to cost you to heal them back up at the end of it. So that's this game is very difficult. And speaking of difficult, here's the difficulty settings. You can switch between casual and a bunch of other stuff. Anything else that you move here, that you address and change to make it better, or to make it more easy, it's going to disable achievements. So keep that in mind. If you care about achievements, don't fuck with this. If you don't care about achievements, just go ahead and make it as easy as you want. You can make it extremely difficult. This is the easiest difficulty, and I'm having a lot of trouble pretty much figuring this out. So CP movement cost, I don't know if this is cognition points movement cost, but when I had it changed, they wouldn't let me move further with extra cognition points. So that was a little bit weird. Discipline, method, discipline. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. You can even turn off cognition points altogether. I just can't find that setting right now, which is weird. And then you have your regular settings, which we already saw. Now, the developer claims that anything that you do in the game will vastly affect how the end game works and how the next few missions work. So let's see if that's true. We're gonna go. I don't want to explore much. I want to do this first, and then maybe. Well, let's go in this room. See how this works. So your guys move in this room, and everything, and I'm gonna talk a little bit, and you're gonna be faced with a dilemma. Now, there's a way to play this. By turning these off, you can pretty much kind of play it old school, the raw way. You don't have any help. Now, this tells me that if I choose this option, I may gain or lose cognition points. This one is going to give me cognition points, most likely, but it will add an awakening level to the tomb level. And this one is going to add an awakening level, and I keep forgetting what this is. I believe it just hurts my guys. So we're going to do this. We're going to get 2 CP points, which is awesome, and we're going to move on. So as you can see, the tomb awake level did rise a little bit. It's not on 1. Every point that it rises, it gives the enemies an extra bonus. They can reanimate quicker, they can spawn more units, various bonuses that you basically don't want to deal with, and we're about to find out which one it is. Now, this is the rune level. This is all pretty much guesswork, but the game will highlight as green what you've discovered to be a good rune, so that always helps. And we're gonna be moving. I think I'm just gonna go straight to this battle here, and by that time it's gonna be level 1, unless this is not a battle. Our presence has been detected. There you go. This is a battle, and we're about to get to the war zone. This is what the map looks like. These are my tech priests here, and there's gonna be a lot to cover here, so let's plan this out real quick. Now, this is the planning phase. I have so many things to address here. So first of all, we're going to be placing down our tech priests. This is an enemy here, and we ideally want to place a tech priest that is good with melee right next to it. And we're going to place this guy here as well. And this is our weaker priest that doesn't really have a lot of power. So this servitor, 1 cognition point, 1 cognition point. I'm gonna go with straight with deploying the ranged one, and yeah, that's probably gonna help us the most. Now, it is imperative that you place them in an appropriate manner, because your units cannot move through your units. If there's 2 spaces here, and they're being blocked by 2 units of yours, there's like a bridge, for example, your other units cannot move, and there's no way for you to cancel a move. So once you make a move, you cannot backtrack to it. Now, as you can see, I had no cognition points, and this guy summoned 1. So basically what happened was, I have a skill that summons 1 cognition point if the round has started without having any cognition points, and I've given that skill to all 3 of my tech priests. These are cognition point generators. This is how far the screen zooms out. It can be bigger depending on how big the map is, but as you can see, I'll show you once the enemy moves. It's gonna pretty much zoom you back in. So I just sent my scouting drone to collect some cognition there, because I only had 1. And we're going to do a melee attack on this guy and hope to kill him. So he's down, but he's not dead, and he gave us cognition point, which we used because we attacked. He's down, again, but he's not dead. So what that means is that he is ready to be reanimated in 3 turns. But once they get downed, they drop an ignition point, so it's important to pick that up. I can shoot him with a pistol, and he's not going to get back up. But the pistol I'm shooting him with is one that doesn't cost any ignition points. It's just a pistol. I can move again now, and I can move pretty far. This pistol that I have equipped needs 3 cognition points to attack, but if I had a pistol that had 1 cognition point requirement, I could move whatever I wanted, even if I didn't need to move, but line of sight is a problem, even with friendly units. You can't shoot through your units. So I could move somewhere here, for example, and then shoot this guy, and then move again, basically until I ran out of cognition points. What I am going to do is I'm going to move here, since that doesn't cost any cognition points, and I'm going to collect this cognition point here, which is awesome. And I'm probably just going to, yeah, why not? Shoot the fuck out of this dude. And he's downed, which is awesome, and I can still move without any using any cognition points, and collect this cognition point so that my next guy can start with a cognition point. It was not important that I do that, because they will summon a cognition point anyway, so keep that in mind. Healing cost cognition point. Now we're gonna end this turn. These are animations that you're gonna have to sit through, unfortunately. And what I mean by that is you cannot skip anything, you cannot fast forward. You're just gonna have to sit through all that stuff, which is sad, but I guess there's nothing to do about it. But I wish we could skip the animations like you do with Fire Emblem, for example. I can just fast forward everything, I don't have to worry about it. I can make the enemy move faster. I'm surprised those settings are missing from the game. Those are really important in a strategy game like this, so I don't know. I feel like it's too late for them to be added at this point. I'm gonna move my guy here. Now you may have noticed this that says opportunity. Opportunity can roll both ways. You can have an opportunity in your favor, and you can have the enemy have it on their favor. What this means is that if you try to move past a melee unit, what's gonna happen is once you get close in melee range of that enemy unit, or the enemy unit gets in close range in melee range of your allied unit, they're gonna get attacked by that melee attack. So you can some ranged enemy units can only attack from a distance, so what you can do is go right next to them in their face, smack them in the face with a melee attack, and then when their turn comes, when it's time for them to attack, they have to move away. But that's going to be an opportunity, and your tech priest is basically going to attack the enemy unit twice, because it tries to walk away while it's in melee distance. You don't have to just keep walking past them. You can start moving away from them while you're next to them. So that's something that is important to keep in mind, because you can do it. So as you can see, I used a point, and I'm not able to do an attack right now because this takes a point in order for me to attack. So we're just going to end our turn. I'm going to wait for the enemy to make their move. And here's the opportunity, because that enemy seemingly was trying to go to this guy and attack him. I have melee armor, so it's not going to matter to me. Now this is my allied unit. I'm just going to move him here so he's going to be in line of sight. And I'm going to attack this guy that has 1 health. And he's going to be downed. It is imperative that you attack him before the reanimation is initiated. So we have 3 turns for that one. One of the bonuses of... Oh, shit. I don't realize it was going to be in range. One of the bonuses of the enemy having a high level of awakening is that it's going to be quicker for the enemies to reanimate once they're downed. So we're going to move in melee distance, and we're going to attack and get this guy down there. Oh, he's not dead. Okay, interesting. We're going to send the Servo Skull. You can send them on enemies in order to uncover basically how much health they have and all that stuff, but I know all the information from enemies, so I don't need to do that. Here are the cognition points. Summoning, I didn't have any, so my guy summoned one, and I'm basically going to attack the live one. I thought I was going to down him, but he has 5 health, which is fine. What are you going to do about it? I am going to move away from melee, though, Gonna move right here, because this guy has the pistol that doesn't cost any cognition points to attack. And I'm going to attack... Oh, he's out of line of sight. I'll probably just move here so I can collect the cognition points. I'm surprised this didn't do a opportunity. So this guy's gonna be dead. Gonna collect the cognition point, and I'm gonna end my turn. All right, this is shaping out to be a pretty easy one, I think. I do have to knock down the downed enemies though, because they are gonna reanimate, and that's not gonna be pretty. We're gonna end this turn. And this is the opportunity in melee. Shit, well, I can move away, but I'm probably just gonna delay the turn on that one. I don't want my guy to be damaged. And there's the opportunity. Give me my cognition point, and yeah. So no threat remaining. That was a pretty easy one. That is because we're on low level of alarm for the awaking. So it wasn't much of a challenge. Now, let's see what this is about. A dead Skitari is pinned up against a wall by blades, speared through his body. It seems strange for the flayed one to leave a corpse behind without skinning and dismembering it. No wonder why we're raiding these fucking tombs here. Perhaps the discovery would reward examination, or perhaps it's a trap. So if we use caution, it gives us some cognition points. If we do curiosity, it raises the wake level, and it damages one of our units, I believe that icon is. And Callus says, shoot down the dead body from the distance. If it's a trap, it should be deactivated, so other Skitari do not get caught out by it. Interesting. If we leave the body alone, I think this one actually takes away cognition points, but sometimes your choices will raise the enemy awareness, and it's not really up like this one. Let's see, let's just do that one. 2 CP points. Okay, sometimes those things will be like, hey, JK, we're gonna call up all the reinforcements. I'm just gonna go for the mission ending here. I'm just gonna collect my thoughts. As you can see, we haven't really used any of our bonus cards, but that's okay. Kill all enemies. Now, the objective of the game is going to vary sometimes. It's going to be survive for 4 turns while enemies are spawning forever, and you try to avoid them. And then after 4 turns, it's going to be like, alright, now kill all enemies, bitch. The game should have been telling you, hey, you should be killing these while you're trying to survive. Don't just survive, idiot. I'm going to put this guy down there. I'm going to put this thing there. I'm going to put this guy here. And we're going to put this guy here. I'm going to put this guy here. Now notice that if I put this guy here, and it's his first turn to move, which is not going to be evident by here, he couldn't move. He would have to go all around. So I'm just going to have to put him here. And we're going to start the battle. This looks interesting. Now, it's important to know that, let's say, I have to start off with my low-grade warrior. There's going to be some enemies spawning from these, as I can imagine. Another criticism I have about the game is that there's this view. You can also do it by space. It kind of points out, hey, this is an enemy spawning, this is cognition center, this is enemies here outlined by the red color. And this is a scanning thing that you can also destroy for some extra blackstone. There's no way for me to see how far the enemy can travel and how far the enemy can attack. Similarly to Fire Emblem, for example, you can have the danger zone displayed for either individual enemies or all of the enemies, which was very useful. But with this one, this is all you get, and it kind of just shows you their path, which way they're going to be attacking and who they're going to be focusing on, which is useful, but it's not exactly what I would have liked to see. Now, this is important. If I walk all the way here, see how it says +1 cognition? your guy will pick up the cognition point on the way to attack the enemy. So that's very important to know, I believe, once you do... Did I collect this? Ah, no, shit. Okay. I have my other guy, one of his abilities is once he collects one cognition point, it collects the rest of them on all of the other points. So I thought this guy was going to do it. This it's dead. 5 damage. That usually doesn't really happen, but we're lucky. And we're going to do a ranged attack on this guy because it doesn't cost any cognition points. Bam. 4 and 1 electricity damage. I'm just going to chill here. And I'm actually going to put him right up here so that he can go on the platform once it raises itself, which is nice. I'm going to end the turn. Get the low-grade soldier here. End the turn. I cannot attack because I can't fucking go through. I'll have to sacrifice ignition point to get into melee distance and then melee the shit out of this guy. Hopefully he dies and he gives me my ignition point, and he did. Critical. So it's important to know when you critical an enemy and they die because of that critical, they're not going to get in a reanimation state. They will completely die, which is really nice to know. And you know what? We're going to send the servitor to collect that point because why not? We have him. And we're going to end the turn. The enemy's going to be moving. It would have been nice to know where they're going to be moving to, but can't have it all in this world. Alright, we're gonna attack this guy so he doesn't reanimate. I'm guessing this is it with these guys, but keep in mind that every turn, every new turn that goes through, a new level on the awake level, a new point on the awake level is gone, so then it levels up. So it's important to finish the mission on a timely manner. And here is my other guy. I wonder if the enemy is going to be in range for my ranged attack. Out of range. If only the whole screen didn't shake in chrome aberration. That'd have been nice. Here we go. Extra Necrons in battle. So they're going to spawn from somewhere. There we go. There's 1. And there's 2 here. And these guys came here because of the platform. Awesome. Alright. So I'm gonna move my guy here. Actually, shit. See, that's another thing. Like, I understand the planning is important in strategy games, but if it's still my turn and nothing has happened, let me undo it and go back and kind of redo what I wanted to do. I don't ask for much. Now, as you may see, this is flashing red. That's because every time you attack, it pretty much fills up this bar down here, and it's going to be like a bonus thing for the attack. And for this one, it's Machine Spirit. It's going to be +3 damage. When we click that, it's going to say Machine Spirit, and we killed him enough to not let him reanimate. I'm going to move my guy here, and I'm going to end the turn. And then let's see. I want to do a pistol attack. So it's going to be +1 damage. I'm going to do it on this guy who's close to me. Now that we're in range. And then I am actually going to move in melee distance. And I'm going to do a melee attack. So that downed him. 5 damage. That's crazy. That's a lot of fucking damage. And I'm going to send my my drone there to collect the ignition point. I'm doing good. Can I attack these guys from a distance? Should I? I will. Because why not? Maybe not, because I don't know how... Oh, that was a critical. He's dead. Okay, I don't have to worry about him reanimating. Awesome. Gonna end the turn. This guy is gonna come here and attack this down guy. I'm not gonna get this... Oh, I will get this cognition point. Okay, I thought only my tech priest would collect it. So, we're gonna move here. Gonna end this turn. I wonder if I should wait for this platform to switch before I try to go over. This is on cooldown, so what I have to do is go into melee and kill this guy. It's gonna be at least 5. No? I thought I had the bonus. Okay, well, fuck me, I guess. I kind of wish that I do try to get these scanned or maybe attacked or something so I can get the bonuses. So maybe once these guys come, I'll have my tech priests on the platforms to help them go across. We'll see how we're gonna do that. It's gonna be kind of tricky, but that's the name of the game here. Alright, so we're gonna do this attack on that guy. And then I'm actually gonna move on the platform so I can attack him with my melee and send my droid to collect this. I'm actually doing well. I may have to increase the difficulty level. Alright, so this priest is probably going to be just fine. Hopefully, at least. And he's not dead. We're going to end the turn because I don't want to do the opportunity. I am going to move here, so I'm going to be ranged. Shoot him with my pistol. So this is kind of an easy mission, I would say. These guys are kind of low grade enemies. They're not going to be too much of a threat. I'm actually going to move my guy on the platform, and I'm surprised that wasn't an opportunity, actually. Maybe because I was just moving next to him. He's not dead yet. Okay, I'm going to heal, because why not? This Blackstone to repair me afterwards. Okay, so this guy, 1, 4 to 5. Yeah, this guy's definitely gonna die. Because Machine Spirit, he's gonna be downed. I don't have to worry about him. And I'm just gonna opportunity. I'm just gonna move here. Here's the opportunity. Why would you move here? Just attack me from. Oh. Huh. I'm confused about the AI's strategy there, so not gonna question it. I'm winning. Why would I question it? That'd be crazy. Here we go. Getting close to beating these guys. Send this droid to get cognition. This is going to be important to get the cognition in order to be able to have my guy move faster. So I'm not in range. I have to move here. I'm gonna move here first. Let's see if I'm in range now. Yes, I am. And now he's downed. I want to keep this one alive for a little bit just so I can go and collect those things there. Here we go. Oh, it is going to be an opportunity. I think we'll be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to cost me a lot of Blackstone, but the amount of Blackstone it will take for my guy to be healed is going to be outweighed by the amount of Blackstone that I collect here. 91 Blackstone. And can I... Ah, fuck, I can't do it. It's okay. I'm gonna end the turn here. Here's my guy. Hopefully he... Oh, nice. That kind of works out, actually. That really does work out. Ah, no, it doesn't. So my next move is gonna be Jeremiah, and he should have enough cognition. Yep. Let's see. I'm actually even gonna send this one here in case I have to pick that one up, which I shouldn't have to, but I'm gonna. Because why not? There's gonna be 3 of them. And I'm gonna scan it. Hopefully gives us like 100 or something. 91. I can't heal. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna move here, because that's the maximum I can move without spending a cognition point. Shoot this dude in the face. That killed him, and no more threats, and that will be the end of the mission. There we go. No threat remaining. Some missions get a lot more complicated and a lot more challenging, but this is the idea of the game. Let's see if there's going to be some kind of bonus in the end there for us to pick up. The dialogue is, the writing is nice. It's very immersive, And it all comes... Oh, wow, that's 50. 1 for every... 10 for every health. Okay. That's fine. I have 585. That's more than enough to upgrade. So, there's a few things that I want to criticize about the game, and I'm going to start with those. First of all, I'm just going to go in random order. There's no indication of the enemy range of path and attack. There's chromatic aberration everywhere. Even here, you can see it. It's right here on the edges, which is very distracting. And I already have a headache playing the game, and it's only been, what, a few minutes. It's really difficult to get into at first. It's very boring, very bland. And once you start unlocking things and you figure out, oh, different missions I can pick, and I get rewards, and the more missions I do on this path, the it's going to be a different outcome and everything on the game. So until you get to the point where you actually discover those things, it took me a few hours to get into the game. And I was just looking at the scores, the review scores, and all that stuff, and what people had to say, and I'm like, really, for this game? So I decided to keep playing. Well, I had to keep playing because I can't really form an opinion about the game without actually knowing what the game is about. And that's when I started realizing, okay, I can see why these people are praising the game, because it is in depth, and on higher difficulties it's going to be a hell of a lot more challenging, even though the beginning of the game is very challenging. I don't like the fact that your units cannot move through each other. The path blocking is kind of annoying. I can understand not being able to move through enemy units, but your units, I just don't agree with that choice. And the cognition system can get quite tricky to get used to, but it is not a negative thing. I think it's actually brilliant. I haven't really seen anything like this in a different game. I haven't played every single game out there. So if there's a game that has it, good. But the cognition system and everything, needing a certain amount of cognition, it also makes you plan ahead and sacrifice some of your augment points on weapons that either don't require cognition point to operate and do a lot less damage than other weapons, and kind of mix match, have those weapons around just in case. And heaven knows I needed them on my previous mission when I got my ass handed to me, and kind of learned my lesson like that. So it forces you to kind of strategize and sacrifice some damage for possible damage, because you can have the strongest weapons on the game, but without any cognition points, you're not going to do shit. I like the dungeon crawling before the levels start and everything. I like how every unit requires some blackstone in order to take with you on the battlefield, and then they require some cognition points as well. It is a very risk and reward game. It's going to make you risk a lot, but it's going to make your life a lot easier, but then you do risk losing a lot because you put a lot into the game. So even if you lose a mission, you don't restart the mission unless you reload a save. You lose that mission, you go back into the ship, and the mission is considered complete, and you just don't get any of the rewards. The game doesn't fucking hold your hand. It's a hard game. And at that, I think people love this game a lot because it's a good Warhammer game. That license has been ran to the ground, turned into fucking toilet roll, and wiped everyone's ass with it. There's some really big stinkers out there on Steam, some really, really bad games. So it's always refreshing to see a nicely polished game with amazing art style, art design. The soundtrack is amazing in this game. It's a very heavy tone. The characters, the writing is good because it sticks to it's immersive. It sticks to the character. It's believable. So if you're a fan of Warhammer, you're gonna love the fan service in this game. The people have done their homework. They definitely have done the homework. So ultra-wide support is amazing. I don't think you need it. I really wish that the chromatic aberration is gone every time you do this. Like, why is this necessary? It's just so disorienting and distracting. Just Jesus Christ, man. Like, fucking take it off. Take it off. We don't need it. This is just so bad. And, I like the ultra-wide support. You don't really need it. I kind of hate how the game zooms back in every time the enemy moves. It reminds me of XCOM, because XCOM loves to reset the fucking camera every time the enemy moves, and especially with ultra-wide, the issues that it has, it's just borderline unplayable on ultra-wide monitors. Frame rate is fine. I haven't really dipped below 120, at least what it feels like 120. My indicator is not there right now. And yeah, the game is $30. I think it's worth the money, especially if you find it on a sale, but it's definitely good. It's a good game. Not perfect, as everybody else seems to think that it is, but it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. And yeah, this is Warhammer 40k Mechanicus. Came out on November 15, 2018. It is developed by Bulwark Studios, and it is published by Curator Games. Curator, I've covered the title that they've published before. It's Rise of Industry, but they've also published Project High Rise and Filament this year. Filament was a pretty nice one looking. I haven't played it, but hey, Curator Games, if you're watching this, you can give me a key. Maybe I can cover it. But I think Curator Games is a pretty respectable publisher. The developer hasn't really done anything else besides one more game that I think it was like a couple of games that they've done, or maybe just one. I think there's Crown Stealers or something like that. Crown Thieves. I can't remember exactly what the name was, but it's back in 2015. Not very memorable, but I think they've done a good job here. And moving forward, I think the sequel has a lot of stuff to improve on, but they've laid down a foundation of greatness that they can work on. There you have it, guys. Game is $29.99 on Steam or your regional equivalent. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you on the next time. Peace.